At first glance, it looks like a dream opportunity. You're invited to sit across from the most powerful microphone in the world. Joe Rogan, a man who commands the attention of millions, wants you on his podcast. Your PR team is excited. Your followers are hyped. Your mom is calling all her friends, but then you step into the studio and reality hits different. The camera starts rolling, the conversation begins, and you realize something terrifying. You aren't in control anymore. Because this isn't a press tour. This isn't a TED Talk. This is the Coliseum. And Joe Rogan? He's the lion. It starts off chill. Always does. The studio's cozy. Joe offers you a drink. The lighting is warm. You feel like you're about to have a friendly chat. But that's the bait. Joe's whole power lies in making you feel too comfortable. So you drop your guard. And that's when the real problems begin. You say things you shouldn't. You ramble. You contradict yourself. Because while you're treating it like a hangout, Joe is already 5 moves ahead. He's reading your body language. He's sensing where you're weak. And when he finds it, he pounces. Here's the trap. You think this is a debate, but it's not. Debates have structure, moderators, time limits, rules. This is just Joe doing Joe things. With a platform so big, he can cut, clip, and frame the conversation any way he wants. You're out here trying to sound smart. Meanwhile, he's pulling up some obscure study from 1998 about ELK testosterone and gut health. You weren't ready for that. How could you be? And when you hesitate, even for a second, the internet destroys you. Joe's audience isn't passive. It's a machine. They're meme makers, fact checkers, keyboard warriors. If you slip up, they'll catch it, clip it, make you famous for all the wrong reasons. You mispronounce a word, they'll turn it into a remix. You stutter, they'll say you're lying. You get emotional, too sensitive. You stay calm, too robotic. There is no winning, because on the Joe Rogan Experience, you're not just talking to Joe, you're talking to 10 million judges. And they don't forgive, they don't forget, and they never shut up. You'll be deep in conversation, maybe talking about your book, your project, your ideas, and then, boom. Joe hits you with, so what do you think about aliens? Or, do you think psychedelics could fix government corruption? And you're like, wait, what? The conversation turns sideways. Now you're knee-deep in topics you never planned for. And if you try to steer back, he'll let you, but only long enough to make you think you're safe again. And then he'll pivot to something even worse. Why do you think so many people hate you online? Didn't you say something different in that 2012 interview? Isn't that kind of hypocritical? By the time the podcast ends, you're not even sure who you are anymore. The biggest trap isn't the questions, it's the length. This isn't your 7-minute Good Morning America spot. This is 3 hours long. You're sitting there, dehydrated, your brain fogged, your guard slowly breaking down. And meanwhile, Joe, he's fresh. He's trained for this. He does this multiple times a week. You're running a marathon you never trained for. And by the time you hit the second hour, you're just hoping to survive. But the damage is already done. Because Joe Rogan doesn't need to argue with you. He just lets you keep talking until you hang yourself. You leave the studio thinking you did okay. You shake hands. You smile. You go back to your hotel room and breathe. But then the clips start rolling out. That one time you said, I don't know. Now it's a TikTok trend. That awkward laugh you gave, meme. That moment you zoned out, screenshot. Suddenly you're all over Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And everyone has an opinion about you. Your phone won't stop buzzing. Your inbox is full of hate mail and fan mail. And you can't tell which is worse because you've been reduced to content. You're no longer a person. You're a sound bite. And here's the wildest part. No matter how bad you did, no matter how weird it got, Joe Rogan wins because people don't tune in for you. They tune in for him. You were never the main character. You were a side quest, a plot twist, a new toy for Joe to explore. And when the episode ends, he moves on. But you're stuck dealing with the fallout. So yeah, getting invited to Joe Rogan's podcast sounds like a dream. But the truth is, it's a trap. You walk in hoping to boost your career, and you walk out feeling like you just survived gladiator school. And while Joe lights up another cigar and moves on to the next guest, you're out here dealing with the headlines, the hate, and your own regrets. This is why It sucks to be a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast. If you're the kind of person who loves seeing behind the scenes of power, pressure, and performance, then make sure to hit that subscribe button.